I can't tell you how many men come to me after 10 or 15 years of marriage and say, "This is not the woman that I married." They feel a seismic shift in her personality. Sex is different. Her mood is unpredictable, and she seems tired and disconnected, prickly, and just generally pissed off. And the kids notice it too. They'll even ask, "What's wrong with mom?" And if this is where you find yourself, you're not alone, and your marriage isn't doomed. But what you're most likely experiencing is a season of life that no one talks about. And it's a season men are most often left completely in the dark, and it's perimenopause. Perimenopause is the stretch of years leading up to menopause. It generally begins when a woman's in her 40s, sometimes earlier, and it can last anywhere from 4 to 10 years. And it ends when she has not had her period for 12 months. That's when she's officially in menopause. And it's during this time that her hormones, her estrogen, progesterone, they're constantly shifting, which means her body, her moods, her energy, and even her sense of identity, they're all changing. And every woman goes through it, but almost no one prepares men for what it means in marriage. And that's what we're going to unpack today. See, perimenopause isn't just hot flashes. It's also night sweats, weight changes, brain fog, irritability, fatigue, and yes, a shift in sex drive. Sex sometimes becomes uncomfortable or painful because her body is no longer responding in the way it used to, and it's frustrating for her. But it's not only physical, it's emotional. She feels like there's a loss of youth, a loss of fertility, a loss of identity that she's been carrying for decades. And in a way, it is a metamorphosis, just like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. So as you know from grade school science, a caterpillar doesn't just magically sprout wings and flies. It goes into the cocoon. And when it's inside the cocoon, the caterpillar actually dissolves. That old form disintegrates so that something new can be born. And when the butterfly is ready to emerge, it actually has to fight its way out of the chrysalis. And that's a struggle. It's painful. It's an exhausting process. But it has to happen so the butterfly can strengthen its wings and fly. And here's the thing. If you cut the chrysalis open to even a tiny bit, the butterfly dies. Perimenopause is her chrysalis. She's dissolving one identity and fighting her way into another. And yes, it's messy, it's painful, and sometimes it's hard to watch, but it is a metamorphosis. And your role as a husband is to not to cut the chrysalis open. It's not to fix. It's not to smooth it over. It's not to take away the struggle. Your role is to hold steady, to honor the process, and trust that what's being born on the other side is something beautiful. And I can tell you from experience it is. Now, here's where most men get into trouble. When they don't understand what's happening, they take it personal. They think, she doesn't want me anymore. I'm failing as a husband. I can't make her happy. And then our nice guy stuff gets triggered. We become over accommodating, tiptoeing, pleasing, trying harder, hoping that we're going to earn her affection. Or we withdraw, we shut down, we avoid, and we retreat into work or other distractions. Both responses kill intimacy. Both create more disconnection. Because when you take her metamorphosis personally, when you collapse, you stop leading. Now, let's be clear. This isn't something that women just have to suffer through. There are medical options like hormone replacement therapy or non-hormonal treatments, lifestyle changes, exercise, nutrition, reducing alcohol and sugar. These are things that can help stabilize her mood and give her more energy. And there are ways to make sex more comfortable again, like lubricants and moisturizers. And there are emotional supports, therapy, meditation, support groups. All of these things can help her with that inner transition. But here is something you need to know. You can't do those things for her. You're not her doctor. You're not her therapist. You are her husband. And what she needs from you isn't a caretaker. She needs a steady partner who can walk with her through the cocoon without trying to cut it open. So how do you show up as a confident husband during the season? I'm going to give you 4 strategies. And just by knowing these 4 things, it's going to put you in an elite group of men. You're going to be 90% better than most married guys out there who are walking through this experience. These are tactics that not only help you make it through the season, but keep you in your frame as a masculine leader. But before I give you these 4 things, I want to make sure you understand this. You are in a season. This will pass. And on the other side is a deeper, more mature, loving, and amazing relationship. Your job is to get through it, to get through the season. And yeah, it might last several years. Okay, no problem. All right, so let's get to the strategies. Number one, stop defending, stop fixing, stop explaining, just listen. In other words, presence. Let her talk about her things without rushing to protect yourself. Make eye contact. Slow your pacing. When you slow your pacing, what you're doing is you're engaging her mirror neurons, and it slows her down as well. And mirror back to her what you're hearing. So when you hear something, you just repeat it back. It sounds like this is what you're going through. Now, here's something that's super important to understand about human behavior. No matter who you are or where you're at in your life, these things are critical. Everyone, and especially your wife during this time, wants to be seen, wants to be heard, and this is the most important thing, wants to be agreed with. Now, you don't have to agree with her, but you can understand her point of view. So let's say, for example, she says, "You're not showing up." You can respond with something like, "I can see how you might feel that way." Now, that's not agreeing with her, it's agreeing with her experience. And it helps her so that she's not going to be defensive, and it helps you so you're not going to be defensive, so you can actually get into collaboration. You become something solid, and this is where your strength and your frame comes into play. Right now, what she's going through, she feels completely alone. And if you're not present, if you take things personally, you will trigger the stress hormones that send her into the fight or flight. And that's when trust erodes. And secondly, speaking of trust, respect, and safety, she needs to know she can be herself fully, moody, tired, frustrated, without you dismissing it or minimizing it. Because here's the thing, it is not about you. Even if she projects on you, it's not about you. This is her experience. And when you see that it's not personal, it's seasonal, you can stop being defensive. You can be defensive, but that's only going to corrupt her trust faster. And when you honor her experience, she's going to feel safe. Now let's talk about frame, okay? This is the third thing. Don't collapse. Hold your frame in marriage. Your frame is your masculine embodied energy. This is you saying, "I got this. I'm not going anywhere." But here's a caveat, and this kind of goes back to the respect and safety thing, where you want her to be able to be herself, but you don't have to put up with bad behavior. Name calling, yelling, accusing, swearing, all of these things are actually things she needs you to stand up against and set boundaries. The message you want to communicate is, "I love you, I hear you, but it's not okay for you to treat me badly." Your frame is, "I won't collapse under this tension. I won't run, but I also won't put up with abuse." Now, here's a rule of thumb. If you wouldn't let someone else in the world treat your wife the way that she's treating you, then you can't allow her to treat you in the same way. All right, the fourth thing, and this is creative intimacy. Now, sex is probably not going to look the same during the season, but intimacy can go deeper. Touch, connection, closeness, these all matter. It matters about your presence, not your performance. This is your chance to practice the skill set of creative intimacy and expression. Now, when you approach your wife at this stage of life sexually, it's often going to trigger her stress response. So instead of feeling relaxed and ready, she goes on guard and she may protect herself. You might find her saying she doesn't want you to see her naked anymore. She might resist your advances. And again, this is a season, and likely it will change once she goes into full menopause. But your focus right now has to be on slowness as a way to keep her nervous system out of that stress. And it can be tricky because her body is under stress during this transition. So she's always kind of in a constant state of stress. So be patient, be open. And the truth is, you don't need her for sex. Learn to enjoy solo sex. Let her know, "I'm good. I like sex. I'm going to keep having it with myself, and you're welcome to join me." And just by letting her know this, that you're going to take care of your own needs, it frees her up. And oftentimes, this alone will create more desire in her. So there you have it, 4 strategies that will help you through this season and keep you confident. And those are presence, respect and safety, your frame, and creative intimacy. Now, remember the butterfly. She's fighting her way out of the chrysalis, and it's not your job to pull her out. It's your job to stay grounded while she emerges. Perimenopause is not the end of your marriage. It is an initiation. For her, it's the cocoon, the messiness in between the death of one identity and the birth of another. For you, it's an invitation to rise, to become a husband who can hold steady in the struggle, who doesn't collapse or cut the chrysalis, but trusts the process and leads with presence, respect, and strength. Because when you do, your marriage doesn't just survive perimenopause, it will take flight. If this resonates with you and you're feeling distant in your marriage and you don't know how to merge it and you want to talk, I want to invite you to check out the Confident Husband Solution. This is where I walk men through the exact same skills and framework that you need to be able to lead in your marriage with strength, presence, and purpose. So go to chuckchapman.com and check out the webinar I have there, and that will give you the next steps of how you can become part of the Confident Husband Solution. Thanks again for joining me on this episode of the Confident Husband Podcast. My name is Chuck Chapman, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week.